Yes, this is Jelle Drijver talking to Martijn all the way in Brussels, and also Klaartje is joining us today. Klaartje is one of the partners of Martijn of MKB Service Desk. Am I right, Klaartje? Am I introducing you in the right way?
Yeah, I'm also part of the Crowd Expedition team as a journalist. And I write for MKB Service Desk and De Zaak, and I report on the expedition for this medium, and I also report on the website crowdexpedition.com.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us today, Klaartje. Good to have you in this hangout and in this interview, because today we are going to talk about what Martijn has done in the past week. So he has been talking to Together, as mentioned in the last video that he was going to, so I'm really curious about the insights on that. And as I mentioned before, Martijn is in Brussels at this moment talking to a lot of very interesting people, including the Prime Minister of Flanders. So that's a part of Belgium. So Flanders, Vlaanderen, I hope I'm pronouncing it well. And I also want to talk to Martijn about what he's going to do next week, because he's going to London, baby. So Martijn, let's start. How was your week? That's the same question as always, but did you have a good week, and if yes, why was it a good week?
Yeah, we had a great week because we had some lots of interesting interviews. Of course, first, like you mentioned, that's Together in Amsterdam, and we'll leave Utrecht at 4:45 in the morning. But it was a really great and nice day, also a challenging day, because it was also the first time we were going really like a media team to a conference, and we had some really nice discussions over there.
Okay, to whom have you spoken?
To lots of people. Let's see. Yesterday there was the first conference day. With even the car, as a traditional bank is the key partner of the crowdsourcing events. That also shows that crowdsourcing is going to in a really new phase, where also the big corporates are really interested in what's happening over there. We had some interviews with Sean Moffat of Wikibrands. Really nice story about the crowdsourcing, and also some nice discussions about how not to use crowdsourcing as purely a marketing instrument.
Okay.
Really nice campaigns, but they are more like a branding campaign than a really crowdsourcing campaign. And we had also some discussion with some lawyers about regulation in crowdfunding and crowdsourcing.
Okay. And because you are mentioning you are at the crowdsourcing week in Brussels?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And you are going to talk to Chris Peters, Minister of Flanders. How did that happen? And what are you going to ask?
Yeah, that was a good question, because the whole organization, they offered me, okay, do you want to talk to him? And I said, of course, why not? But then I was thinking, okay, but what I'm going to ask him? So then I thought, okay, why not use crowdsourcing myself?
Okay, so we have a slight delay at this moment in the video, so hope Martijn is getting back with us very quickly. Martijn.
Maybe I can tell something about the crowdsourcing we did for ourselves.
Cool.
Like yesterday, we also we had the chance to talk to someone who is busy with finance in Belgium, and we also asked people on Twitter, well, what they'd like us to ask him. Unfortunately, he was gone before we could ask him questions, but we had a long list of questions we could ask him. Martijn is back.
Cool. So Martijn, there was a slight delay in the connection, but when you stopped, the last thing I heard was we used crowdsourcing ourselves to find out what to ask the Minister of Flanders, Chris Peters. So how did you do that? What platform did you use?
WhatsApp, because we also have a expert team of about 40 international experts for Crowd Expedition. and we WhatsApp evening a WhatsApp a message with the question, okay, we're going to talk to him. What do you want to ask him from your expertise? And then I received in 1 hour about 7 questions of the expert team, and that are also the questions I'm going to ask to the Prime Minister.
Fantastic. So you used the wisdom of the crowd to come up with relevant questions for Chris Peters. Okay, I'm really looking forward to the answers and also the questions that they come up with. And to whom are you going to talk to, and to what interview are you looking forward the most?
Today, you mean?
Yeah. Uh-oh, Klaartje, I think I lost him again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
hello.
he's back.
There I am.
Yeah, okay.
No.
The interview with Chris. And
today,
best.
of course. Yesterday was a more traditional setting with the conference, with people on stage and people in the audience, and some nice discussion on Twitter. Today are the round tables, so there are 4 round tables, and I'm also joining them about co-creation, the maker movements, innovations and organizations, and crowdfunding. And in the end, I'm going to interview the moderators of the round tables, what their experience were and what the outcomes were from their discussions.
Okay, cool. Next week you are going to London. You've booked your tickets, as I can read on Twitter, and you'll have interviews at Park at My House and E-Rated. And we talked about Park at My House last week in the video. I believe that was number 4. But E-Rated, what's that?
It's a new startup in London, and they because when you look at the sharing economy, trust is really important, and it's normally on Airbnb. You will building up your reputation on Airbnb, but then when you are going to switch from a platform, you can't bring your reputation with you. So it's really hard to really create a more independent, personal reputation tool. And what they are doing is they're making a reputation tool, so you can sign in at the website, and then you can link all your reputation media like LinkedIn, Facebook. You can link it to their, and they use this data to make a official trust rating of you as a person that you also can use at other platforms.
Okay, so that's E-Rated, and more of that next week, right? You've mentioned WhatsApp. You have used WhatsApp to communicate with the expert team, but I also saw a video of you inviting people to join your WhatsApp list so that they can stay up to date through WhatsApp, right? I'm curious if people want to stay up to date on through other platforms than Twitter or your website. How can they sign up for this WhatsApp group, and what can they expect from it?
Because you go to our website, crowdexpedition.com, and at the right you will see a button, register now for the WhatsApp list. There you leave your number and your name, and then everything starts automatically. And from there you will be kept up to date to the expedition, but you are also able to ask questions to us through WhatsApp.
Okay.
And it's also really easy to answer.
Okay, but I am already in a couple of groups, and it's getting really busy, and I'm getting a bit of, well, there's a hesitation to sign up for another group. Can you imagine that? So what can I expect?
Yeah, sure. I've got the same problem because I got too many WhatsApp groups. But you're not signing up for a group, but for a broadcast list. So when somebody in the broadcast list responds, the answer goes directly to me. So it's not a group, but a list, a broadcast list. So that's really easy. So you won't get bothered by the answers of other people.
Ah, that's fantastic. So I just get a message from you, and when I reply, it's only to you and not to all the people on your list.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. How many messages will you send? And if it's too much, can I sign out, opt out, unsubscribe? It's not a nice question to ask, but I can imagine that it's something that people are thinking about before signing up.
Yeah, it's a really relevant question. Signing out is really easy, so it's really easy to sign out for the WhatsApp list, and the amount of messages you will receive depends on what we're doing. So like now we're in Brussels at an event, so you receive maybe 2, maybe max 3 messages a day. At the moment when we're just you will receive maybe 1 or 2 messages a week. So it depends on what we're doing.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, I think we, you, me, Klaartje are through with the 10 minutes. Klaartje, is there anything left you want to ask Martijn or you want to mention in this weekly update?
Well, I'm now writing the article about day 1, and I'm really looking forward to what you're going to do today, so I can integrate it also in the report on crowdsourcing week. What's the first thing on the program today?
See, that's a good question. It's the lunch, so I think it's a really good start of the day.
Okay, but the first more informational thing. What's the first roundtable?
The first round, there are 10 people at each roundtable, so we're switching. So I don't know which. But the round and efficiency at large organizations through crowd participation, crowdfunding to spur entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship, and the last one, the maker movement and new business paradigm.
Okay, and are you going to involve the crowd? Are you going to Twitter on insights and maybe ask people to give some input, or is it closed?
Yeah, there are closed discussions because it's also not allowed for press to be at the discussions, because it's going to really be really nice, interesting, informed discussion. But at the end, we're going to talk to the roundtable leaders for their insights. So we are only going to share. So that's
okay.
Okay.
Looking forward.
Yeah, me too. So let's round up this weekly update. We have discussed a couple of things. We've talked about E-rated. We are going to talk to in London, like a park at my house. The WhatsApp expert team you're using, but also the WhatsApp list that people can sign up for through crowdexpedition.com. On the right side, you mentioned you are at this moment at the crowdsourcing week, so if people have questions, they can use Twitter to ask it, or they can ask it if they are on that WhatsApp list. And you are going to Chris Peters, a minister in Belgium, the Prime Minister of Flanders, if we are not mistaken. So thank you, Martijn, for your time from Brussels. And as always, I'm really looking forward to next week to hear more about all the insight you are going to gain at the roundtable discussions today. Thank you, Klaartje, also for your time. Thank you for joining today. Keep up the good work, Martijn, and see you next week. It's quiet here without you at the office.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.